Ho Chi Minh speaking about the War of Independence in 1776 in America. Um, let's just say these were less than acceptable descriptions. But I want you to know that this is taken out of context, and it's a form of book worship. Okay, first of all, it's a form of book worship. Second of all, what those people they weren't informed. Okay, Marx didn't know that America was stolen land. He didn't know. I think where did he live? Germany. He lived all the way in Germany. They didn't even they don't even have a Starbucks there. Okay, so he lived all the way in Germany, and he didn't know America was stolen land. Okay, and Mao, he lived in China. He had no idea America was stolen land. He had no idea. Okay, no one told him. And if he knew the truth, if they knew the truth, they would 100% have taken back what they said, and they would have rightfully condemned the founding of this settler colonial, racist, chauvinist, misogynistic, transphobic, fatphobic, biphobic, non-binary phobic society, and would have condemned it as such. They didn't know America was stolen land. No one told Mao it was stolen land. Okay, no one told Lenin it was stolen land. They were not informed. Now, I was talking to Comrade Number 3 the other day, the leader of the Navajo Nation, and as it happens, we are working on creating a new revolutionary party in the United States, and this is what we're going to be fighting for. First of all, mutual aid on the ground praxis. Obviously, we need to keep organizing. Everyone keep organizing. Keep organizing, okay? We need everyone to be organized. And what that means is, well, I'm a barista, so what I do is when I clock into work, I basically follow around my coworkers and I tell them that America was stolen land. And I keep doing, and they keep trying to avoid me, and I keep following them. And sure enough, they will be organized, okay? It's not working yet. That's okay. Mao said we have to be patient, revolutionary strugglers of the revolution. And one of the things that I'm doing for Praxis is that, so Mao advocated against the practice of foot binding. Well, I'm advocating against fat binding, aka dieting. So at my Starbucks that I work at, there's, some kind of like, there's like there's these things on the menu they've added for people who want to diet, and they're like, oh, less fat, reduce sugar, reduce calories. And me and the local Red Guards, we basically had our own little, well, let's just say those items are out of stock. Yeah, turns out that following the luminous advice of Chairman Gonzalo, we dare to struggle and dare to win. And rest assured, no one will be fat binding at my Starbucks anytime soon. Okay? Recently, a subreddit was closed down. And the lessons we have to draw from this is that there was a lack of a revolutionary vanguard. And it's so important to understand that we need a Reddit vanguard to protect the subreddits from being taken down. Without that, well, it just shows the pressing need of a revolutionary vanguard to liberate queer BIPOCs from the imperial core, specifically in the form of protracted people's struggle in the Kmart parking lot. Okay? And you may think that is not very eventful, but when people are trying to push their carts back into the cart aisle, we seize the carts as though seizing the means of production, and we just ram everyone in our way. We hoist our flags upon the carts. We ride the carts all through Kmart. And it is a revolutionary people's march, if you will. And this is the most fervorous, intense battleground of the protracted People's War being waged in my local city. Okay? And Chairman Gonzalo, as he has taught us, we should always be fighting right opportunism. So while I am skeeting down the Kmart aisles in my revolutionary vehicle, the shopping cart, we go down the 4th of July section, and we carry broomsticks on each side, toppling down all of the flags and chauvinist paraphernalia from the shelves as they tumble down gloriously with the triumph of the revolutionary vanguard over the white settler, with a K, American state. And we hoist the revolutionary flag in the stead of the imperialist, chauvinist, racist, indigenous, queerphobic, fatphobic, ableist flag of America. Now, Haz, aka Phoenician Hitler, if he had his way, okay, if he had his way, we would be kicked out of that local Kmart. But thankfully, we had the Democratic mayor elected in our local city. And now publicly, we say he's like down with the electoral politics and stuff. But, I mean, this guy kind of has our back because he issued an ordinance that says we can do whatever we want now, right? And, you know, we don't publicly say anything good about him, but, like, he has our back, okay? Don't worry about it. He has our back, all right? Now, when it comes to Haz, the Phoenician Hitler, he is trying to ruin this special relationship we have, okay? Because we're against electoral politics. We're going to AOC's rallies, and we are shutting them all down. But, you know, when those Democrats are in charge, we do tend to, you know, are waging the people's protracted war in the Kmart parking lot is much easier, okay? So he's kind of trying to ruin this special little thing we have going on. And we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. All right. Now, every day we go to that Kmart and we tumble the shelves and clear the shelves of the chauvinist paraphernalia while wearing our masks. And, you know, there's this white settler employee at Kmart who always has to clean after us. His name's Albert. And let's just say, I hope the feds aren't listening, but we're waiting for you, Albert. Oh, yeah, Albert, you are a white supremacist, settler, chauvinist, piece of shit, and you are trying to reinstate the institution of American settler colonialism by cleaning after us, okay? I spit in his face one time. And yeah, he's a 73-year-old man. Yeah, he can, you know, he has arthritis and he walks very slowly, but he was chasing me and I felt very threatened. So I brought my Red Guards, all 16 of us, to confront Albert. And although this settler was so weak that he had a heart attack, it was a triumphant show of force against this settler colonial piece of shit who's basically the reincarnation of Hitler. It was a triumph of the revolutionary dictatorship over the forces of right-wing opportunism. Let's just say that. Okay? Now, many of you don't realize this, but I have to reiterate it because so many people don't know this. America was stolen land. And racism has been a part of this country from the very beginning. America was never great. Take it in. Have some time to take it in. Okay? That's okay. You can have some time to take it in. That's all right. Now, the Phoenician Hitler, aka Haz, wants to cover this up. And he wants you to think America was always this paradise. In reality, this country is reactionary to the core. Reactionary to the core. So, I'm denouncing patriotic socialism. I finally learned that it's stolen land. And indigenous people are going to take this country back. So, to begin land back, we have entered the Kmart parking lot once again. And we've cleared all of the carts away for indigenous settlements. So we cleared all the carts and we threw them down the hill onto the highway. It did stop traffic. Luckily, the current Democrat mayor made sure the police did not press charges against us. But what basically happened was that we cleared the way of the Kmart parking lot and we put up signs that said, "Indigenous people, welcome! Come back to your home." And, well, okay, so no indigenous people showed up. I expected them to come with like their tents or whatever to come resettle the land. But there was this homeless individual who was not wearing any pants. And he did come, and there was this complication where we did ask him to put on his pants because that is a form of sexual violence and assault and trauma. But he did. He engaged in a. He took a dump on our sign, okay? And I don't know if he was on drugs, but we did interrogate him and question him. We encircled him, all 39 of us, and we chanted, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, how much indigenous blood do you have? Hey, hey." And he finally managed to tell us, I don't know if he was on drugs, he told us he does have about 3% indigenous ancestry, which is actually a lot. I mean, I myself am an indigenous person of color. I am 0.25% indigenous. This is the generational trauma of my ancestors. I can feel it in my bones. It is why I am doing what I'm doing. But we did let him stay because we did clear the Kmart parking lot for the resettlement of the indigenous folks who were driven out by the white settlers. So he was allowed to stay. He did prove he had enough indigenous blood to stay. So I think that was a victory. And we put it on our headline that successful land back in the Kmart parking lot. Indigenous chief resettles his land. Now, we kind of had to add the chief thing because, well, he kept calling us chief, and we called him chief, and he didn't object. He said, well, he basically said, he basically said, "They're after me, chief. They're after me, chief. Jupiter, man, the chief. Hey, chief. Hey, you think you can tie my shoes? Hey, man, you think you can tie my shoes? Chief, you think you can tie my shoes?" And this man, we called him chief back, and uh, he did not object. So we assumed he was the chief of the tribe. Now, he did have blonde hair and blue eyes, but that does not matter, okay? Because he's indigenous and he was the indigenous chief, okay? So he was settled in the Kmart parking lot. And we did make out some of the things he was saying to us. He kept hurling at us. He went, what was, I'm trying to remember what he said. He said, I don't have it in the drawer. I don't have it in the drawer. Where's the drawer at? Where's the game at? Man, that was man, I don't know the first thing about it. And, well, I'm pretty sure what he was trying to tell us was that we need to do this to more Kmart parking lots. Anyway, he did start masturbating, so we did have to leave. He did not have pants on. And I think this is an example of land back that can be replicated across the entire country. So we just need to clear out these Kmart parking lots and other places. We're looking at the bowling alley. We're looking at the other places. We're looking at we were thinking about a really smart idea that we would clear out the highway, the freeway. We would clear it out and try to set up another Chaz right in the middle of the highway. And this Chaz, only indigenous people would be allowed. And I'm thinking that would be so lucrative because we spend so much time disrupting traffic to spread the luminous ideals of Chairman Gonzalo. And why not two birds in one stone? Stop traffic and land back all in one. Anyway, I just wanted to conclude this by saying patriotic socialism is something I only was subscribing to because I didn't know that the country was founded on stolen land. And now that I know that, I've really decided to change my ways. And I have joined my local Red Guard organization. We are taking to the streets. We are taking to the Kmart parking lots. We are disrupting the flow of capitalist white settler traffic. And another thing is that this truckers convoy that's going on, first of all, I don't know how to spell this to you, but what you're talking about is a bunch of Hitlers, okay? Every single one of those truckers are Hitler, okay? Every single one of them are petite bourgeois, completely filthy. They're all owners, first of all, of their trucks, their fleets. They all own fleets, and they employ others. And I know what wicked white settler games they've been playing. So what they've been doing basically is they drive one of their trucks to the protest. They get out, they call an Uber to take them to their other truck, and they take that truck to Ottawa. And the whole protest it's only about a handful of billionaires that are attending that protest, a handful of trucker billionaires who own the fleets. And what they're doing is they're driving their trucks there. They're Ubering back to their truck stations, and they're driving their trucks to the protest. And it's only about 5 people doing this, okay? And they're filling the trucks with like these mannequins that look like they're not. It's only about 5 billionaires. So don't fall for these tricks, okay? And even if it was, these are all white settlers driving their trucks on stolen land anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, these people are the same as Hitler, okay? And the Phoenician Hitler, Haz, yeah, that guy, first of all, he doesn't get a pass. He doesn't get a pass because Phoenicians came to this, they came to Turtle Island long before Columbus. And they were up to a lot of chauvinistic activities, okay? They used to sacrifice children to Moloch, okay? Do you know how many indigenous children they kidnapped to Moloch? So, as soon as we've addressed this issue of white supremacy, we need to address the problem of Phoenician supremacy because no one is talking about it. No one's talking about it, okay? They would sacrifice children to Moloch, okay? And I myself am a pagan and a Wiccan, but I don't worship those like Semitic ones. I worship the indigenous gods and the Indo-European gods. I don't worship the Semitic ones. Those ones are toxic, okay? And look, all I'm trying to say is that Haz guy, he comes from a very chauvinistic culture, okay, to say the least. Now, hear me out, but look at how they treat women, okay? He's clearly a misogynist, and look, okay, hold on. All I'm saying is that indigenous folks are very matriarchal, and we need to save the planet. Capitalism is killing our planet. All right, without any further ado, just remember America is founded on stolen land, and Haz is Phoenician Hitler. One last thing. Chairman Gonzalo, in his luminous prison cell in Peru, his spirit is with us. Move heaven and earth, Chairman Gonzalo. Long live Chairman Gonzalo. Down with the white settler, right opportunist, Pat Socks,